So I'm lucky enough to be running a program of research in cancer control across several key cancer types at Cancer Council New South Wales. But my own research trajectory has all been around HPV vaccination and cervical screening. And our group have been lucky enough to be involved in some really key policy decisions. For example, our work is supporting the upcoming transition of the National Cervical Screening Program to HPV testing, the introduction of next generation HPV vaccines in Australia, and we're also doing a lot of work in low and middle income countries to really help policymakers figure out how best to implement and combine HPV vaccination and cervical screening. So I feel like I have the best job in the world, but it took me a long time to get there. So I have something to confess today. I started life as an electrical engineer. I usually keep it very quiet, but you all know my deadly secret now. So I actually worked for 12 years in industry, and I'm really interested actually to make some connections with those that have worked in regulatory affairs, because I used to work in clinical trials and regulatory affairs for the medical devices industry. I got to travel all over the world, and I learnt so many things about clinical trials themselves, but also managing teams and working with lots of different types of people. And then at the age of 32, I took myself off to Oxford and worked my way through a PhD in epidemiology, which is the best decision I ever made. And I was so lucky to work in really the founding unit for epidemiology worldwide, the cancer epidemiology unit there. There was a dusty old library where you could run into Sir Richard Dole, who was still alive at that time. You know, he's the person that established the link between smoking and lung cancer. And I thought this was my moment. If I love this dusty old library, which is the size of a boot cupboard, I must be really right for this career. So I really feel that it was the best decision I ever made. I came back. I was lucky enough then to get a postdoc eventually at Cancer Council. I built a team of 12 people involved in cervical cancer research with grants and contracts from government. Went to UNSW for a couple of key and really important years, and then came back to Cancer Council a couple of years ago. So it's just been a remarkable journey, sometimes tough. But I think the key messages I would have for everyone is, first of all, career trajectories aren't always straightforward. So if that's you, don't be disheartened. I remember someone telling me when I was at Oxford, oh, you might as well give up. It's so hard to get trainee fellowships these days. Nobody can make a career in research. You can do it. You might have to be strategic. You might have to think about backup options. For our group, having government contracting has always been a good way to fund group activities beyond competitive grants. The other thing to say is that, like some of the other speakers, it's really, really important to be passionate about what you do. You have to love it, and if you love it, you'll find a way. Thanks.